And a very warm welcome to the seventh round of this PSGL PlayStation F2 season here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, just outside of Jeddah in Saudi Arabia, a country that has more money than the three richest people combined. That is a very, very rough estimate. I am Otaku Logan, and I am joined by Mr. T-Dub. How are you tonight, sir?
Very good, very good. Past halfway point of the season, round number 7. We know who our championship protagonists are most likely going to be, so this should be an interesting one around a track that I don't really know what to expect, if I'm honest. This could be an absolute barnstorm with chaos going on at every single moment, or this could be the biggest DRS train race we've ever seen. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, we'll just find out. It is qualifying, however. You know the drill. 18 minutes around the track. Set the fastest lap time possible, and you're on pole position. Bob's your uncle. All the drivers making their way. Remember, collisions are off, so if you see them go through each other, do not worry. They are not doing something that's 18 plus. They are just feeling the effects of going through each other. This is to reduce the advantage you gain behind the slipstream. So all the drivers making their way through. We've got a much better grid tonight. We've got 19 tonight. Last week we had a lot fewer, I believe. It was 14 last week. And it was won by Paul, who was the first driver to take their second win of the season. Second place was Tailsborough, and after penalties, Moustache got the podium. Thomas Covers given the 5-second penalty for his actions. And then it was Shabby, followed by Thomas Covers. And Spanish, Hugo Silver, Marios, Pepin, Lonans, and Evan Ney and Lakitu both not scoring. So all the drivers are on track, seeming like they want to get us over with and out of the way as fast as possible. This is a 27-turn, 6-kilometre plus track, and we're on board with the championship leader, Moustache.
Oh, charging down to turn one there. Bit of a lock-up on the inside, it has to be said. In the Alpine Esports liveried car, I have to say, I know we've given the track a little bit of sticks first of all, but this first sector is absolutely amazing when you hook it up. Try and be careful of those curves because they can spit you into the Armco on either side of the track. Again here, managing to ride it nicely and then keeping it all the way over to the right, swing it back across to the left, very easy to invalidate there. Looked like a pretty decent first sector from our championship leader there.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I think I'm not supposed to be impartial, but Alpine Esports livery over the actual F1 livery any day of the week. Look at that. So much better.
100%.
Looks like the Red Bull British Grand Prix livery. Coming through the middle sector, and that's going to be an invalidation. Slam dunk, invalidation. Yeah, he did clip the wall. I saw a bit there. So we're going to go on with Casper Flack. No statement's going to be here unless he's invalidated. Everyone's invalidating. This is very easy to invalidate because there's no room for error. You hit the wall too hard, you go across the corner without going across the apex, you are going to lose your chance of setting that time. This is a street circuit that demands perfection. Spaniards coming through and trying to find perfection. We are about to get our first drivers across the line, and it's Tailsborough, who came at second place last week. Nearly won it all, but was very unlucky. Paul got there just before he did. It sets a 1:27.334, and I imagine that's going to fall soon. A lot of drivers are just pulling at the pit lane because they're not happy. Now, cutting that line is allowed because it is qualifying. And they're ghosted anyway. Second quickest goes Carlitos as a car spawned on the track for a frame of the action. Christian goes up there with 2, brave to be performing in Saudi Arabia, that is. Marios is 1:27.348. We're not going to say that again, I do apologise, Christian. Pepin coming across the line. He got 9th place last week and gets a 1:28.050. As oh dear, not another double step. This is my problem with these F1 World Cars. You still have to double stack. It's ridiculous. You don't know who you're going to double stack with. That's the big issue.
Yeah. Well, makes for some potentially very interesting races. Thankfully, we didn't see any of it last week, of course, as even Nye just drops into the 1:27s to go 8th fastest. Pepin will probably be a bit disappointed with a 28 flat. I'd expect pole position to be in the high 26s. with the track evolution and all that. We also had a lot of the main championship contenders fail to get a first lap in. We're looking at Casper Flack and Moustache and ET8 Paul all invalidating. The Pink Panther jumping back out on track. Lawrence now lowers the benchmark by just under a tenth of a second in that bright dark blue car. 1:27.2. We'll be able to see in a few minutes if anyone can eclipse that, as Casper Flack also back out on the circuit. Sipala in 12th. First at the moment has quite a lot of time to find there, and a 28.8. Will be disappointed with that start.
You see Moustache not wasting any time trying to get a lap done. You can see he's only got 1.8 laps worth of fuel in the tank, so he's got to be careful he gets back in time. I'm sure he will. He'll just turn the fuel usage down as he comes around this long curve, which leads to turn 27. I don't believe there are 27 turns here, honestly. He's counting too many twice. This is one big curve to me. Here he comes. Going to start another lap. Is it just me, or does the scenery around here remind me of Star Wars? I'm not joking, it just looks like it.
I mean, you've got to give hats off to them. The track itself with the background and everything, it looked very, very classy, very, very cool. And obviously in real life we have seen some interesting races there. 2023 and 2024 perhaps not the most spectacular, but the inaugural race in 21 was a little bit of a banger, and 22 also followed up pretty nicely with the Verstappen versus Leclerc show. We'll ignore that. Moustache through the first sector. Nice and tidy once again. First sector on the previous flying lap wasn't the main issue. 31.7 as we come up to turn number 13. We can't necessarily trust the purple sector splits on the track map because they have proven to be wrong in the past. This is where he came a cropper on the previous flying lap. Clipped the wall on the inside, spat him out into the runoff, gets very close but just survives it. Rides the curbs Tony Hawk style on the inside and will power down towards the second sector split.
Now you say it, I imagine Tony Hawk being an F1 driver. Probably have a ball of a time. Coming through the final few turns now into Sector 3. Coming through this long curve, DRS at full blast. You see the flap open wide. And coming through that massive condominium on the right. I wonder, I hope no one's scared of heights living in them. So coming out the final corner, it's going to be Moustache. Is it going to be a clean-shaven lap? You bet your bottom real it is.
Big advantage as well. Smashes the benchmark set by Lawrence. That potentially says to me we could get into the mid-26s with 10.5 minutes left to go. But yeah, putting a marker down early on, as Moustache did in qualifying last week. Wasn't able to convert that into a second victory of the season. Had to settle for fourth, bumped up to third with the post-race penalty of Thomas Covers. But yeah, we'll be hoping to try and recover a bit of form as one of his main championship rivals, ET8 Paul in the Pink Panther, slots into second place. Nico in one of the alien cars has also jumped up into fourth.
So we got Zane coming around to finish his lap, it seems. Wait, Zane is unable to be setting a time yet. He's been involved in a few. Oh my goodness, he nearly does a Verstappen going into the wall there. And across the line, not sure if this will be, yeah, he's not advanced any further up. Besides, Sipala has stayed where he is. At the rear of the field, Matthias coming through the final corner. Hits the wall for a second there. And is now going to cross the line. What will it be? 8th place.
Solid time. I think that's the best way of putting it. Casper Flack is someone that we should potentially talk about. Only 11th after that second flying lap. Has missed the past couple of weeks, so maybe a little bit of rust there for the driver in the McLaren eSports liveried car. But yeah, a 27.6. Won't be particularly pleased with that. As we will expect around a circuit like this, the field spread should be a little bit wider like we saw in Suzuka last week.
So sorry if I'm just flicking through, see who's on a lap here. It's quite confusing now, the time with all these drivers on the track. Zane's not improving. Lucky to, don't know what he's setting. Again, apologies for the flashing. Spanius has already done a lap. I think Casper Flack is not, no, he's on a lap. Who is though? It looks like Shabby is going to be on lap. Talesborough's on a lap.
Talesborough just jumped up into second place on a 27 flat, so Provision onto the front row.
Myers is invalidated, unfortunate, and Christian is on out lap. So Oh, by the way, only 10 minutes in, everybody's on the board. Happy days. And
Excellent.
somewhat, pretty much all but one of those is representative. This is a hard lap, okay? Zane is running out of fuel. Thankfully, he makes it back. I think he should make it back. I think these cars designed to do that. Diogo Silva, starting his lap, needs to improve by 8 attempts to be within a shot of pole position here tonight. It's the Jeddah Street Circuit in, well, Jeddah. Have you ever heard about that? The big city they're building that's one big long straight line. Imagine a race of that!
Yes. That
it's
would
just
be
a
very,
drag
very
race.
interesting. Yeah. I mean, with what it looks like, you could turn it into a bit of a roller coaster. While we've been talking there, Kasabi's jumped up into 7th, classified 4th last week, nestled inside the top 10 there, still nearly half a second off the outright pace of Moustache. Nobody able to get close at the moment with 7 minutes to go, though. People are coming out for second flying runs. Lawrence has just started a second flying lap. I think ASRT Christian has, bailed on their first sector.
So I'm still trying to find a driver that's on a lap.
I think Pepin's just started a lap. Pepin has just started a lap in the bright lime green alien car, but it wasn't a great first couple of corners. It was a little bit messy, potentially put off by a car that was coming out of the pits. Obviously was ghosted, but still a bit of a distraction, and just looks a little bit wobbly, although it takes the final part of the first sector pretty nicely, and I wonder if there will be an improvement in that first sector split. It's a 31-7 from Pepin, so that's a competitive first sector, even with that mistake in turn 1 and 2.
I'm on board with Christian. He coming around the final corner. Look at that, Levy. That looks sick. Oh, he's hit the wall, I think. And that's not really going to help him. He's in the pits anyway, so I was wondering what was going on. And Aaron now isn't across the line. He's going to go up to just outside the top 10. In fact, the same time with Matthias, but because Matthias set his first, he gets the position. It's the tiebreaker. First to set it, because they have less grip, will get the position. Only been used
Pepin
once.
Continuing to find time as well, by the way. That delta to the second sector split is now 4.5 tenths, so this could propel the driver currently down in 17th comfortably inside the top 10 as they come up towards the final corner. Got to be very careful because it sucks you in on the inside, and then you can get very lazy on the outside, just clip the wall, as a couple of drivers have done so in this session so far. Got ET8 Paul just ahead, starting a lap. This will be Pepin, potentially into the top 10, yes, just nestled inside it. A member of the 127.4 club there into 9th position.
It sounded like you were saying the 1% Club, which is a show on ITV, which I usually beat the contestants in.
Ooh.
And the funny thing is, sorry, I'm pretty sure we all can. Qatar Airways is sponsoring this apparently in Saudi Arabia. You'd think it would be Saudi or from the old Williams. You'd think it would be the old Williams livery sponsor, and Aramco, of course. My grandfather actually used to work for Aramco, funnily enough.
Well, isn't that a nice little bit of
history?
I've forgotten what the word is. Yeah, completely escaped me. ET Paul, by the way, in the Pink Panther car, setting purple in the first sector, found a 10th per second, 31.6, so could potentially be challenging this time set by Moustache, who is still in the pits. This could be the final lap we see from Paul in this session. Continuing to find time, a 10th up, little bit wobbly there, very close to invalidating. I mean, he's done incredibly well. Millimetre perfect over the curbs. Now just pulling gears before we come up to the 27th and final corner. A 10th up at the moment. Won't quite get him into the 26s. Needs to find probably another 10th in this final sector. A bit of a lock-up on the inside front left. Now charging towards the line. Take the shortest distance. Just cutting that line on the pit exit. Will this be a 26 in pole position? It is a 26, but 25 thousandths off Moustache. And that could be the final run we see from Paul in this session.
I thought he was going to make it. That was very surprising to me, as Spanias is on a lap as well, and what looks like the old Lotus John Player Special livery. Get Johnny Walker and John Player Special confused.
Bad first sector though. Must be an in-lap, you would imagine, with being 1.7 seconds down. It's
alcohol. I just realised that I just mentioned or tobacco brand. I mentioned an alcohol and tobacco brand. I'm sorry. The old GPS Lotus livery, that is not how you're supposed to go through that chicane, Spanias. That is an invalidation. I'm guessing we're all waiting for the final lap.
By the way. Yeah, Zane on a lap, 13th at the moment, coming through the first sector.
Dear.
Massive moment there, and that is the lap ruined, invalidated tyres. 1,000 degrees probably after that slide, and Zane could be consigning himself to a very disappointing qualifying because it's unlikely you're going to get back around at this stage. 3 minutes to go. We're getting towards the business end. A lot of drivers still in the pits waiting until the final opportunity to get out on their final brand new set of soft compound tyres and go for a pole position bonsai. While we have a little bit of downtime, should we talk about a couple of sponsors?
Yeah, I think we should, actually. We have a sponsorship from GT Omega. GT Omega is our leading manufacturer of gaming peripherals with gaming chairs to sim racing cockpits. You can improve your setup with GT Omega if you use PSGL as your code at checkout for 5% off on all products from this lovely site. Go check out GT Omega, the leading manufacturer of gaming peripherals.
Excellent site and some excellent products as well as that. Sim Racing Centre SRC, if you check them out and using that same code PSGL, you can get 10% off their services, setups, driver coaching, strategy, calls, whatever you want. Go over there and get yourself some sim racing help.
Yes, especially from Brendan Lee. Big dive bomb from Brendan Lee. Hello, Ginger Andy. Where's he gone, by the way? I miss him. Anyway, Lakitu, who is taking a break from officiating Mario Kart races, is, oh dear, someone had a massive slide behind him, is in that Alpine Esports car, and he's invalidated already, so that'll be the end of his session unless he gets around for one more Banzai lap. How much fuel's he got in the chamber? He could do one more lap. He doesn't have to go back round. Oh, and Zane is... he can't do another lap anyway, he's in the pits. Lawrence is on a lap, coming through. This is the big blue car. It looks like the Visa car without all the sponsors. Or, did you think of anything that it looks like? Because I can only think of the Visa from this year.
Yeah, I think it's similar. It's a lovely deep blue colour. A little bit more Toro Rosso potentially than the Visa Cash App RB. He was playing with fire with the track limits in the first sector though, but did find a 10th and a half. We'll hope to keep that up and potentially challenge well. I think that did flash up purple. Has found 2.5 tenths, so this could be challenging for provisional pole position with just 30 seconds to go. Moustache might be sweating. Championship leader has started their final flying lap of the session. ET8 Paul and Marius Formula up there as well. Marius Formula has actually jumped up into third place that I believe we've missed there on a 26.991. Here is Lawrence, first driver to set the benchmark for the final flying laps of the session. DRS flap open, pulling gears to the line. Will this be a 26 provisional pole? No, just misses out. 27.009. Fourth at best.
Close though. Have we got any other drivers starting a lap or finishing a lap? Sorry.
ET8 Paul has just about made it over the line to start a flying lap.
So this is on. He is in the running. How's Moustache
not improving,
doing?
by the way. Moustache not improving. Was about half a tenth down through the first couple of sectors. Up to the line. Alpine Esports livery car. Will it be an improvement?
Well, improve.
Big final sector. Finds a 10th in that final sector to push that time down to a 26.8. Who can match it? Talesborough's improving as well by a 10th coming up to the final corner. We'll wait to see what ET8 Paul will do because he will be the last over the line in that Pink Panther car. Talesborough flashing out of the final corner in 5th position at the moment. Casper Flack up to 6th. Important time there. Talesborough up to 3rd.
And Paul is not improving either. Moustache may have just got the final sector that mattered, or maybe not, because he might not improve. No one is getting even close to them. Spanias is improving, but I don't think he's improving enough. Diego Silva has crashed, or no, he's just retired from the session. How's Pepine doing? He's in the pits. So it's
Paul's still down. Paul's still down.
Yeah, Paul's still down. Here he comes. This is it. Spanias is coming across the line. And Paul nearly hits the wall. Spanias does not improve. Can Paul get to the pole position? No, he cannot. He has not improved. So that means Moustache has had a close shave there. And he's on pole position. I finally got it in. Yes! I get to say that line.
Back-to-back poles for the championship leader, though, there. Yeah, not quite as substantial as it was last week, because he was just over 2/10 clear of the rest of the pack in Suzuka last week. Now it's just over half a tenth of a second. But excellent time. Only driver in the 26.8s and thoroughly deserves that championship leader continuing to show decent form. Now needs to do what he hasn't been able to do in the recent couple of races, convert it into the race winner. Though ET8 Paul Talesborough, Marius Swillman all will be right in there with that Alpine Esports livery driver.
So 3 big names in the fight for the win, it seems. And I do believe it is the top 3 from last week as well, in a different order. They've moved Moustache up to first, kind of like the British Grand Prix last year. Verstappen won, second, Hamilton third, and Hamilton got bumped up to first the next year. And I was there to see both. What an experience to see Lewis Hamilton win a race. And a big one too.
It was quite the moment, wasn't it? We are through qualifying. Obviously, we need to have our sort of 5-minute or so downtime while we get the lobby reset. But just to go through the grid there, look at that. Top 3 covered by just under a tenth. Marius, Formula, the only other driver in the 26s, just over a tenth covering the top 4. Lauren's impressive performance as well. Casper Flack pulled a lap out of the bag very late on to get up into 6th place. Could be crucial for their championship their championship aspirations. Nico a further 1,000th of a second behind. Spanias, Christian and Kasabi rounding out the top 10, who were covered by half a second today. If we look further down, anyone had a position, Zaynab were disappointed. Same as Pepin in only 13th there. The 2 alien cars outside the top 10.
You keep calling them alien cars. That's adorable.
They're bright lime. One of them's bright lime green with a lovely heart as the driver logo there, and the other 2 is a dark green with a purple. So I think alien car is very, very applicable. It has to be said. You've got to have fun with the F1 World cars.
Yes, and what I've just realised is that the runoff areas are so cool. I just wish they would slow down drivers.
Gravel, anybody?
Yeah, but that was just ruin the hard work of the pictures they made.
Gravel and grass, old school circuits. That's what we're missing. These all newfangled street circuits.
I mean, they
Justice
can't have every track be street circuits.
Well, 20 years' time, I think it probably will be. Although you're not allowed Monaco as a street circuit. You can have every other street circuit, but Monaco's not allowed, according to the higher-ups that be. This is not a real start before anyone gets ahead of themselves.
Do not adjust your set. Adjust your sets. You can
the race to see who can be disqualified quickest.
And Lucky 2 has won. Congratulations.
Some of the
so this is a crash testing. See if the painted surface in Saudi Arabia works. Look at that car. It's a Joe car. Oh dear.
Even Naya's won the race, everybody.
Yeah, the phony race, that is.
The faux start, one could say.
So stay in the lobby, everyone watching. Stay in the lobby. Stay in your homes. Do not leave your house. No, you can leave your house if you want. We'll be back in a few minutes. Especially
what
if you're
are the chances, by the way? What are the chances that podium is the podium that we're going to get? Talesborough ended up 3rd, so that's possible. Spanias would need a good drive. Even I would need an exceptional drive from 12th on the grid to get up into 1st place.
I'm going to bet 200,000 to 1 penny on it that it happens.
Cool. Let's get the script writers out, everybody.
A free bet of a penny, yeah. And apparently there are confetti coming out of thin air in those. There's no confetti cannons to be seen. They've still got confetti flying away.
So who are we looking at as the favourites? We'll have a bit of a chat about that because as we saw last week, and we've seen in the previous couple of races as well, Moustache hasn't been able to convert excellent qualifying sessions into race victories. Hasn't won since round 2 in Miami. Has been on the podium in 3 of the last 4 races, 5 of the 6 races this season. But ET8 Paul with 2 wins and a second in the previous 3 rounds is the form driver. And obviously Casper Flack coming back as well. Had a run of a second, a first and a second before he missed the last couple of weeks, starting down in 6th, but will always be a contender, you would imagine. Do we still think Moustache is the favourite for this race?
Yes, but it will be tough to see if he can hang on to it. Because, of course, Paul and Tailsborough are very competitive right now.
I just worry about that race pace because, I mean, the qualifying pace is always there. We saw it last week, was 2/10 clear of anybody else, but was definitely not 2/10 clear of everybody else on race pace. So I wonder if that's maybe a setup thing, maybe not feeling as comfortable on the medium and the harder compounder tyres. We'll have to wait and see if that translates into this week as well. But once again, starting from the best grid slot on the circuit, you give yourself the best opportunity to try and win the race.
Yeah, it's crucial that Moustache gets a win here so he can break away from Paul. If Paul wins tonight, he'll cut the gap down to 5 points, I believe. Sorry, no. 3 points.
1 point.
3 points.
Yeah,
3 points because Moustache has already got a pole position point. So he'll be at least 2 points ahead if Paul gets the fastest lap also. So at least it'll be 3 points at most if he wins tonight. And Moustache comes second. So Moustache will need a win to break away further. And,
for people interested, though, in the championship standings, we'll have a quick run through because it's Moustache leading on 62, finished 5 of the 6 races on the podium. ET8 Paul has only scored in 4 rounds, but all of them podium finishes with 2 wins in there. He is on 56, 6 points further back. The only other 2 drivers that can realistically think about a title charge are Casper Flack, who has only competed in 4 races, 3 podiums in there with 1 win. And Mario's Formula, but last week was a bit of a stinker, ending up in 8th place. Only a best finish of 7th in the last 3 rounds with 1 win. That was the season opener in Silverstone, and only 1 other podium in Austria. So Mario's Formula probably an outside bet. Casper Flack has got the speed. Has he left himself with too much to do, missing those 2 races?
Sorry, we'll have to find out soon because we are still getting set up, by the way. So remainder of the points: Moustache 62, Paul 56, Casper Flack 40, Marios 40 with only 2 podiums. Casper Flack has a win and 2 second places. Marios has a win and no second places. Thomas Covers 25, Nico 23, Tailsborough 508 21, Gian 20, Carlitos 19. Actually, hold on. Shabby 19, and that is
oh yeah, I've just seen what you've seen.
Yeah, there's a problem with the position. Shabby should be in 10th, not 12th. He's on 19 as well as Carlitos. Carlitos has a podium and Shabby doesn't, so he's in 10th and not 9th. I mean, he's not in 12th anyway, so every other position I do believe is correct though. So you can check it in the Discord, the standings. I wish it was made more publicly available, not just in Discord, but it is Moustache still in the lead very comfortably. Is the rank of being the only driver to score in every round so far. Not the only driver to finish every round. Paul, Marios, and Diogo Silva have all finished in the race. They've not all finished the points there. Of course, Paul, Marios has failed to finish once. Diogo Silva has failed to finish the first 2 weeks in the points. And Paul had 2 11th place finishes on the bubble, rounds 1 and 3. So yeah, Moustache, only driver to finish in the points all season. He's only missed out on the podium once, and that was Hungary. So a great record. Oh, we're getting started. Oh, my neck. That was quick.
Yeah. Well done, everybody, for getting ready so quickly. Just a quick one as well. Constructors' Championship, very difficult for us to actually make something meaningful out of it because we're in the F1 wildcards. But it's Red Bull with a driver lineup of Tailsborough and ET8 Paul that lead the way by 12 points ahead of Thomas Covers and Casper Flack for Aston Martin. Williams in there with Sipala, who hasn't scored a point, and Moustache Championship leader on 62. And McLaren, the other team that have a potential shout with Marius Formula and Spanias. They have 58, 19 points off the outright
we're getting ready
leaders.
Sorry, for the Constructors' Championship. The Constructors' Championship, I don't think it's really noticeable unless it's the actual like PCF1 because, of course, their drivers are competing in it, so they're hired by the team. So I think it only matters in the top division where the teams are somewhat involved because, of course, they drive for the teams. But here it's just independent drivers, amateur drivers, just having some fun, getting some miles, well, e-miles, I should say, because, of course, these aren't real cars. But yes, we should only just really be taking note of the Drivers' Championship. Of course, the Constructors is good to keep for some pride, but we're mostly focusing on the Constructors here in PSGL, besides big F1 tier, or as I call it, the Elite Division, because that is where the biggest names go. Y'all know what, me, are going to Red Bull. What'd you say of that? My goodness.
Big move, big driver going to a big team, so I think it works out as a match made in heaven.
Indeed. There's your grid. These tiles may not be accurate. As here we go, we got very quick. 5 lights ahead of our drivers, and we're racing in the desert. It is Moustache that leads him away, and it's going to be unchallenged by Paul heading into the first corner. Now, will they make it through cleanly? It's looking...
Flags
no,
round.
no,
Carnage at the back, by the way. Absolute carnage at the back. Casper Flack was clipped by Nico, and we've got Spanias backwards as well with damage. Virtual safety car called out. That was chaotic. I think that came from that contact between Casper Flack and I believe it was Nico in the highest placed alien car. Casper Flack fell all the way down to 15th, picked up a little bit of damage, I think, as well. So that's one of the potential championship challengers thrown out of contention straight away there.
PSGL Season 37, Episode 7, Return of the Jeddah. Already harness. Long time in a nation far, far away. Virtual safety car is out here after that chaotic first corner collisions. And Casper Flack is right down to 15th. He's lost 9 positions. Spanias has gone worse and he's lost 11. Top 5 remain the same, as well as Carlitos down in 17th. So, virtual safety car, no action for the rest of it. Has kind of spoiled the start, really, but I'm sure it will start kicking up higher into gear when we get that turned off, because DRS will be turned on lap number 2.
Tyre-wise for everybody, top 4 on the mediums, Lawrence on the hards, only other driver inside the top 14 on the hards. Then you go down to Casper Flack, who was caught out on lap 1 on the hards as we go racing once again. Carlitos and Devin also on the hard tyres, and Devin, as I say his name, has thrown it into the barriers.
Yeah, and that was the safety car is off now, as Diogo Silva and Shabby has got no wings, so that will probably explain why he's let through. Very wise of him to do that. And there's more collisions happening further back. I don't know what is going on. Zane's pit as well, he's also got damage, as they're now jostling for position. I should remove that. So you can see the battle happening between Sapella and Evan Nyan, as well as Casper Flack, who's trying to fight through the order. But Devin has had a crash at the back, so thankfully no safety car. I think it was because it happened during the virtual safety car, so it was just about to end. So you can usually register that there has been a crash, and as we bring out the safety car as Casper Flack starts the fight. We go back to the top now. The gap is 3 tenths between Paul and Moustache. Now, this is his weakness. His weakest link has always been the pace for Moustache, the race pace. Paul is going to try and exploit that as much as he can in that Pink Panther of a car as we come through the middle sector.
Paul's race car, if we have to talk about that, is excellent. Remember back to Miami, round number 2, received a quali ban, started 19th, ended up working his way all the way back into 3rd. So he knows how to overtake Don. We saw it last week as well, battling his way through that leading group of 5 cars for the majority of the Grand Prix. Very close as they come through the chicane to start the final sector. Going to be pulling gears. Could be a potential opportunity to try and take the lead down into the final corner with the helping hand of DRS and potentially a little bit of battery. Will we see any DRS games played? I imagine we will do at some point in this race. Moustache, a little bit of a movement over to the middle of the track, then comes back across. Paul not taking the position, going wide is Lawrence, going wide is Mario's Formula. Nico up into 5th behind this group.
Oh, actually, it was Tailsbury. He got a bit of befuddled by Paul there, as there's battles to be had into the first corner, and Paul's going to take the lead into the first 2 turns, and now he can try and start to run away because he knows that his pace is probably better than most, if not all, of these drivers. As we have seen, he's the only driver to win twice this season. After these 6 rounds, we had 5 different winners to start off. Then we had our first repeat winner in Paul last week in Suzuka. Here at Saudi Arabia, though, they're all trying to fight for another win here. Marios is right on the back of Tailsborough. Christian was right on the back of Lawrence, but doesn't seem to have been making any ground. And Spanias has come into the pits, I think, for the damage he suffered. Shabby is now going to not... Well, he is actually still going to be last. Not much progress made from either of the two black-clad cars yet, as the leaders are starting to filter through the middle sector now.
This is where we're going to see how powerful the DRS training is. Christian making a move on Lawrence, both with DRS, but it is Christian moving up into 6th place there. Very easy move. Lawrence looked a little bit slow coming off the previous corner. Purple middle sector for the driver up into 6th place now. Look at the gap between 7th and 8th. Pepin's already dropped out of that DRS range by quite a substantial distance, nearly 3 seconds. So we could be seeing a 7-car scrap for the majority of this race, unless we see a safety car called out at some point. Moustache in the middle of an uncomfortable position because Talesborough was getting very close to the back of the championship leader. Got to make a decision. Are we going to go on the offensive and try and get past the ET8 Paul onto lap number 4, or are we going to try and stay in position and hope that Talesborough doesn't fly past? ET8 Paul looking like he's going to roll out the red carpet for the championship leader there. Moustache does reassume the lead of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, roll out red carpet, he did. He's just trying to play some switcheroo with Paul, with Moustache, I apologise, and just lets him through, and he will now be at the disadvantage of being passed in the DRS straights. Meanwhile, further back, we've got a battle for what looks like 8th place, developing between Diogo Silva, Pepin and Umsipala, all on the NLR stable. Funnily enough, filtering through the first few S's, and oh dear, Umsipala, you don't want to be doing that. Oh, a move for position, that's Talesborough. That is a brilliant move. If that is Talesborough, he's defended like mad, but it's not working, I think. No, he's lost the position. Great perseverance from Marius. He holds on, and Zane is out of the race. He's crashed, and I think, yeah, it's another virtual safety car. We haven't seen a safety car in a while, a full safety car. I'm not sure if they've taken it out. I'm sure they've not, because they would have to take out the virtual safety car as well. Zane has had a crash near the back, and he's out of this race. Doesn't look like the signs are pointing to we're not getting a safety car. So, and I don't think we'll be pitting early either, because it's only lap 4. Don't think we'll be doing much from lap 4. Getting a 21 laps worth of rubber in. So we continue on. It's Moustache leading Paul. Oh, hello. No. No takers. Actually, there
I think
is.
Nico's coming in, though. Yeah, Nico in the Aiden car deciding that the top 5 are going to stay out. He's going to do something different, jumping into the pits. Will this be for hard tyres to go to the end? As well, the safety car, or virtual safety car, has been called in, so not really going to feel the full effects of coming in for a stop there. Diogo Silva and Pepin battling down to turn number 1, but Diogo Silva was very early on the brakes and concedes that fight, although Pepin all over the place coming out of the corner, and no invitation needed for Diogo Silva. Flies straight back past into 7th.
Yeah, mistake there from Pepin, who's failed to capitalise and has paid the price. Losing position, Diogo Silva again, now in 7th place. So technically he didn't lose position. By the way, 8 tenths is the gap. Now Moustache has had a rocket start, and Paul needs to play catch-up now. He needs to catch up, and I think Lakitu is going to go back officiating Mario Kart races because he's just got another 10-second penalty. It just gets worse for him. And now he's right at the back of the grid. Now, Paul needs to make up some ground in this next DRS straight coming up, because he is falling well behind. Look how close Marius is, and we know what Marius' pace is like in the race. He is relentless, especially in tracks like this, where there's lots of DRS zones. There are 3 DRS zones, and they're getting through them very nicely. And now, Marius is going to have a shot at taking a position, is he? It looks like he could do it. He'd love to, but I don't think he should be doing it now, because Paul up ahead is going to try and take Moustache's position. I don't think he'd be close enough. I think he could have a shot here. You need to get 2nd place here if he can, but he can't. Oh, and he nearly, it looks like he went very slow there, and Marius felt very bewildered seeing what happened in front of him, and now it's got the whole pack behind him, and now Paul has cut the gap in half with those DRS straights, so it looks like it's back to normal business between the leaders here. Mario's licking his lips. He wants past as soon as possible. And Moustache still trying to hold on to that lead. Oh, and Msipala has been involved in an incident that is cost his front wing, and a full course safety car is out. Oh, this is getting very interesting. A full course safety car, and Carlitos has been given a 10-second penalty for collision with Msipala. I don't know what happened there. I'm not sure if it even involved him. It just looks like he just ghosted through, and he's lost his front wing entirely. Well, that is very unfortunate. So I'm guessing the safety car advantage will be nullified, and M. Sipala has lost entire front wing. It was down at the first sector, and he will have to pit for a new front wing. So safety car is out. I don't think this will do much because, except for, I don't think this will be good news for Nico to be pit during the virtual safety car. Other than that, it's just going to be a short break for these drivers. Well, what's happened there? Oh, is that Paul?
Well, Marius Formula, yeah, Paul went very slowly into the final corner. Marius Formula, he cleaned him up going into the back of the Pink Panther car, and they are all going to file into the pit. So, like he said, this is not good news for Nico. It was sixth before that pit stop on the previous lap. Marius Formula again entering the rear diffuser. Lawrence on the hards pretty much has to stay out, to be honest, though, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he
has
really
to.
go
I've
for
not
a two-stop.
checked, sorry. Yes, he has not. Yeah, sorry. And I think Carlitos is coming in. Well, he has to. He's got a damage, isn't he? Evan Nye. Hope nobody's double stacking here. Christian's serving his penalty, of course. That's why he's being held. Nico Sos is coming through. Actually, this won't be too bad for Nico Sos. He's in net P5. So he's ahead of Pepin.
I think he's picked up in exactly the same position he was.
So it's
ASRT Christian, actually. ASRT Christian must have been held up behind someone because he was not behind Pepin. So whether the driver that's currently now down in 8th, but I think was 6th, maybe 5th when the safety car was called out. Now down in 8th on the road. That is a net 7th, of course, because Lawrence is yet to come in. But I think that is the driver that is the big loser from the pit stop window there as the safety car comes in. We aren't going to see any interesting strategies, unfortunately, though. That safety car has pretty much killed it because it should be a very straightforward one stop to the end, taking these hard tyres all the way to the end of lap 25.
And Lawrence going to be playing spoiler here. He's on the hardest compound, and there could be another safety car. You never know. And it could be very well for Lawrence, but Lawrence is going to be just a pace. He will have to pit later. So unless he performs a miracle, he's not going to be in the chance of winning this race. So Moustache will have to sit behind and watch what Lawrence does. Unless Lawrence is a level 1000 tyre whisperer, that is, as I say. I mean, I was about to say George Russell, but then I realised he got the DQ, which was really sad. So we'll just go with Alex Albon in Australia 2022.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, wasn't it? Interesting decision for those guys that were on the hard compound tyres. Obviously, Carlitos, his hand was forced, had to come in to repair the damage. Casper Flack was also on the hard tyres, has come in for a set of mediums. So I guess playing a game of chicken, really. Do you think another safety car is going to come out? If not, then you could be in a little bit of trouble. Casper Flack banking on another safety car being cool because those mediums are definitely not going to go to the end. Carlitos is actually coming back into the pits.
I think it's to see if
this is for hards again. Yes.
Yeah, it's to exploit the tyre rule. So he's not breaking any rules because he's used one lap of those medium tyres. He's going back on the set that he originally was on. That is allowed. You're allowed to switch back to your old set. So no foul play in that. He did cut the line there. And why have I got an invite? Oh, right, that's F3. I do apologise. I haven't disconnected from that group yet. Casper, by the way, is on the mediums and is the only driver to do so.
Yeah, he's in a tricky position. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you put on another set, well, as he nearly gets squeezed into the wall. Not sure if you were watching that there by Even Nye. Yeah, almost a calamitous moment under safety car, but does continue in McLaren Esports livery car. He'll be very quick for the first 6 or 7 laps of this stint. Then he's got to make a decision if there isn't going to be another safety car or virtual safety car. I'd imagine as soon as we do see another safety car, if we do see another safety car, he will be straight in the pits to put on another set of mediums.
So we are about to get underway again, it seems. It will be lap 9, 17 laps to go before we get underway again, and there's the Aston Martin safety car. Look how gorgeous that car is. I've seen it before. It is amazing. Where's my Alpine safety car at? Knowing that, it'll probably be just carbon fibre.
It would probably be a bit too slow, an Alpine.
Oh, come on. Right, the safety car is not coming in.
It's because
it is coming in.
Oh no, it is coming in. Yeah, I was going to say Lactu was 3 seconds off the back of the group, so it's going to be in late, and it's going to be Lawrence, who is on the older set of hard compound tyres that will lead us away. They'll come up to temperature a little bit quickly, but you would imagine he's going to get swamped very, very shortly as the safety car pulls into pit road, and Lawrence will back the pack up ready for this restart to start lap number 9.
Sorry, it's still flashing, but we're going to get underway again. And we're underway. It's still flashing. Oh dear. It's not flashing anymore, thank goodness. Now, what is Moustache going to do? He's going to waste no time, and Lawrence is just going to roll the red carpet out for him, and Paul seems to be very shaky in the corner, and now he's stuck behind Lawrence. And this is his teammate, and he's not wasting any business. He's letting him go. And now he's holding up the drivers behind him. What is this? A bit of gamesmanship here from the EC8 gentlemen. We're not really a fan of collusion, like in poker, where you're not allowed to help your opponents to aid yourself. It seems to be a strategic thing to do. Not sure if that's really allowed. We'll leave the stewards to decide that one, as Marius and Tails are battling for 4th position on track, and are coming right behind to Lawrence. Lawrence is surely in a real spot of bother here, as we're on board with Tails, where he sees the action in front of him happening, and now he's coming real close to Lawrence, says Marius. Now, is he going to get him in time before the corner? I don't think he is, but he's going to be very close.
The flat making moves as well, up into 10th place on the restart for 12th. It was very interesting from Lawrence, wasn't it? He was recharging his battery down into turn 1, so obviously made it very clear he didn't want to be in the lead of the race. He probably doesn't want to be in a podium position now, because Marius Former is alongside, and he's going to sweep past the driver that started the restart in the lead and is now down into 4th place. Potentially going to try and swing it around the outside, though. Can't believe he's got the grip to do that, but he's not going to be successful in it, and now he's going to have to look behind him once again, because Tailspur's right there. Well, he's not behind him, he's alongside him. He's going to push him down another spot into turn number 1.
Strategies, strategies, strategies. Everyone has one. And look at this. Lawrence fighting off Tails, where he's only causing bother behind him. This could end in disaster if he's not careful. But it looks like it's all good on the seafront right now as they come through the middle part of Sector 1. And now it is Paul right behind Moustache. It looks like all that madness caused by Lawrence is helping. Now he's right on the back of Moustache and could be trying to set up a pass for the lead here. But he doesn't want to do it at the wrong moment and let the drivers behind catch up.
Was a little bit wide there into 13 though, so obviously not entirely comfortable. Tailspur given a bit of a shoulder barge. We saw there into turn number 1 and 2 by Lawrence there, making it clear that he was going to allow Marius Former through. He wasn't going to allow the driver in 5th place through, and Nico sniffing a potential opportunity but couldn't quite make it stick. Pep and Christian. Casper Flack up into 9th place now, picking up another place on those medium tyres. Matthias rounding out our top 10. Interesting that Lawrence hasn't dropped off the back. He still looks very competitive on those hard compound tyres. 6 lap older than anybody else around, with the exception of Nico pitted before the safety car came out. Are we going to see a pass for the lead down into the final corner? ETIC Paul is gaining in the Pink Panther car. Is Moustache going to go defensive? I think he's going to be happy to sit behind for the time being. Does move over to the middle of the track. Got to be careful of Marius Former, who's sniffing up the inside into 27. ETIC Paul's got to be careful, but I think he's just about covered it off with a good exit, and now he's going to charge down towards turn number 1, try and get the lead you would imagine from Moustache in the Alpine Esports livery car. Pink Panther prowling. Is he going to get close enough? No, not using his ARS. Happy to sit behind once again. Lawrence under pressure once again as well, and it is Tailspur up into 4th place.
Slots in very nicely, does Tailspur, in between Marius and Lawrence, and gets into 4th position as Christian. Oh, there's a collision there. Casper Flack going off the track, and he's getting slammed there by what I think was Matthias. A bit of a clumsy re-entry, and he's lost his wing.
Disaster.
He's got to be careful.
Absolute disaster. Disaster of a whole race. It's a microcosm really for how the 11 laps have gone so far. Half a front wing, he is going to have to come into the pits, and well, his decision has been made for him. Going to stick on the hard compound tyres, you'd imagine, or maybe he can stretch the mediums 14 laps. He's going to probably try and fight every position, you would imagine. Still the gap out in front, just over 3.5 tenths per second. Marius Former almost pushing ETH Paul through this middle sector here. Tailspur right underneath the rear wing of Marius Former, also, and Lawrence holding on very nicely as well.
Yes, indeed, as the leading pack come through Sector 2 and getting Sector 3 now. It is still Moustache ahead, but look how close the other drivers are. It's like 6 or 7 cars fighting for this position. And none of the drivers except Matthias says now Marius is going to go to the outside. He's going to go to try and do double whammy here. He's going on the outside of Moustache. Is Moustache going to hold his ground? Of course he is. They come through side by side down the stretch. I think this is Marius's chance to take the lead. He has DRS. Paul has DRS. It's 3 wide. Heading down to the first corner. Paul's going to get the edge here. Marius goes on the outside. He's going to have the inside into turn number 2. And he's there. He's in the lead. What a move.
First down to third, third up to first. Paul staying in the middle. I really question his tactics, to be honest. He looks very happy to sit in second place for the moment, but it's a dangerous game you're playing with the cars on the prowl behind you. Lauren's still keeping up. Talesborough is probably going to be next to try and relegate the Pulse. It's down another position of Marius Formula. It's going to be very difficult to break. The DRS so strong. 4 DRS zones around this circuit. Crucially, Sipala in 9th place has dropped out of the 1 second window, so it could be under pressure from the cars behind.
There's only 3 DRS zones. I think you said 4.
I probably did, and that is a mistake on my part. But 3 is still a lot.
Yes. And a very long 2. One of them is curved, which is crazy. I think they had... Oh, sorry. I think they had that in Silverstone in 2018 once. They had the DRS in the first 2 corners of the track, which was quite dangerous. As Matthias is losing positions now, I think he may have damage. He seems to be letting through all the drivers. And the answer is yes, he has damage. Oh, he's got to be careful with Shabby and Lakitu coming behind him. As we go back to the front now, is there going to be any moves for the lead again? Moustache wants that lead back, it seems. So does Paul. Oh, it doesn't seem like it throughout, to be fair. But what is going to be the change in the pecking order here? Is there going to be a move from Paul? Yes, there is. He's going to go right into the inside. Marius ain't going to budge, and he's going to let him take that first position like a candy from a baby. Did Paul take that? And now he's in the lead, but look, they're getting much, much closer. All of them are.
Clever from Paul. Second place is a very dangerous position to be in at this stage of the race, so electing to try and lead the pack. Casper Flack is in trouble again, I think.
Yeah, there was a move there by, I think it was it Shabby or Casper Flack, and they seem to have cut them off the track, and I think he should be giving that back, but I don't think he is.
It is a bit of a shame, but it's already going very, very wrong for Casper Flack. You could probably say it's championship over as well, because points looking very unlikely. Needs to pit again. Has half a front wing, so it's all stacked against him at the moment. Moustache could be on the move, try and relegate Marius Formula down a position. Very close as we come up to the final sector, but not going to make this move. Not a traditional overtaking place. Will we see a Lance Stroll into the barriers on the right-hand side? No, we will not. We're going to continue our charge down towards the final corner through the kinks of this final straight. Paul with the lead at the moment. Moustache very close to the back of Marius Formula. What is Marius going to do here? Staying in second place, and Moustache playing ball as well, holding position.
Not surprised that they're doing take that line. They're going to take it to the home stretch. Oh dear.
Lauren's big wobble out of the final corner. Nico is going to say thank you very much as they drag race across the line to start lap number 14. Batts for the lead as well. We're 3 wide for the second time in just 3 laps. It's Moustache, Paul and Marius Formula once again, and it's the pole sitter that comes out on top. The Pink Panther and Marius Formula are going to continue to scrap through 2 and up towards 3. I think the Pink Panther is going to back out of that, yes, sensibly.
Yeah, I guess it does, but it's not end well for Avon Nye. There's damage there, and I think there was a yellow flag, but I'm not sure for who.
Matthias was backwards through turn 2.
Oh, right. Thank you very much. As there's a lot of jostling between Spanius and Evan Nye. Evan Nye loses position, and that is Talesford and Paul. Paul on the outside, and Paul will get the 3rd position there. And there was a fighting talk from both of these drivers coming through the big hairpin, and now look how close Marius is. He ain't taking anything back. He is going for the lead. He doesn't care what happens. He wants this win better than anyone. We're only midway through the race, but look how close they are. He's pushing him, literally. He's pushing. He's got to be careful, because if he breaks early, and that will be disaster, he'll not see it coming. Look how close these drivers are. All the gloves are off. Look how all these drivers are filtering and
Look at
battling.
Talesborough around the outside of all of them. Talesborough from fourth, around the outside of all three of them, takes the lead of the race. Marius and Moustache both trying to play chicken with each other, didn't want to be in the lead. And at the end of the day, neither of them are in the lead because Talesborough said, I'll have that, but he's going to get swallowed by potentially both of them again. ET Paul's falling back. He's so slow. Look at the closing speed. Marius Foreman nearly cleaning him up into the back of him. And now Marius Foreman's locked the rears into turn number 1. Talesborough still nibbling at the heels of the driver in second place. Moustache leading. Marius formally back up to second. Talesborough was ambitious and he could lose another place. E-Tip Paul sensibly once again, as he did on the previous lap, doesn't want to go around the outside of turn number 4.
Get your popcorn machine operating. This is going to be on all night, it seems. That was a brave and bold move, but Talesborough for going from 4th to 1st, but it doesn't seem to have paid off. But he has really assured himself that he's in the running of this race, and he's going to say, I'm not playing any chicken game with you. I am fighting for the win. No bluffs allowed, it seems. Pure racing from him.
Yes, the tactical battle between all the drivers in this leading group of what is 10 cars, so all the points paying positions in this scrap from 1st down to 10th as Pepin relegates Christian down into 8th place just behind this group. Lawrence is still in there as well. Christian, going to be pushed down by Sapala. Those two are going to be side by side. Christian just holds on. Lawrence, remember, still has to pit as well, doing very well to keep in this train of cars.
Here we go again. Talesborough looking for a gap. You don't go for Gavin says you're not a racing driver, and Senna says, and he goes for it, he takes second place. Marius is going to be in the lead now. Oh, and he's pushed Moustache. He's pushed Moustache, and that is that damage for Moustache as Lawrence finally comes into the pits. Now, as they come down the streets, is there damage on Moustache's car? That is the big $1 million question.
Cosmetic damage, at least, so it might be a very minor bit of damage. He clonked the barrier, and I tell you what, Nico clonked the back of his car coming through turn number 2 there. No damage for the alien car. The 2 alien cars are in there in 5th and 6th at the moment, right behind them. Lawrence, we saw coming into the pits, jumping out of this train, so it's now relegated down to 9 cars with Carlitos 4 seconds off the back, now battling for that final place in the points. Moustache, though, I know that the DRS is so powerful. I do question the tactics of some of these guys. They're trying to stay in second place. You've got 10 laps of the race to go, lads. Just drive your own race. Think about lap 25 on lap 25.
Meanwhile, Lando Norris dominating by 20 seconds in the Netherlands on Max's home turf. Are they not inspired by that?
You just wanted to slip in there?
Well, we've all seen the race.
It was a very good performance from Mr. Lando Norris.
But there was no bigger statement than...
Oh, sorry, go on. I was just going to say Paul's under a little bit of pressure with that gap to Talesborough front. Maybe 0.8 of a second. Has he got a bit of damage maybe? Because he didn't trouble the apex through the chicane to start the final sector, and I think he's going to maybe get swallowed up. But using that DRS maybe potentially lower wings. He's got no battery, by the way, 20%.
Yeah, and the other drivers ahead have some battery at least. And that is M. Sipala losing a position, it seems. And now Moustache is going to try and get his way back into the top 3, the podium positions. Going on the outside, but he doesn't seem to be challenging for the position as of yet. But I'll tell you who is. M. Sipala, but he can't seem to get anywhere near. Or is he? He's got a lovely launch out of turn 2, but I don't think he's got a bigger launch enough to challenge that position, no. So, it's now Marius leading ahead of Talesborough, Paul, and Moustache. I mean, through the S's. Was that a mistake from Marius? Marius is starting to lose ground again.
So is Paul, though. That gap's back out towards 0.8 of a second. So there is something not right about the Pink Panther car. Whether the two in front have decided to bolt and Paul's just trying to save up his ERS. A little wobble going through 13 as well. A couple of corrections. So all is not well for the driver in third. Moustache will be seeing this and licking his lips because he knows that his main championship contender is struggling at this stage.
Indeed he is. So we've got 8.5 laps to go. And Marius currently leads, but it's far, far, far from over. Talesborough is in a chance lead to try and take his first win of the season. He nearly did last week. It was just unfortunate not to. Paul trying to get his third win of the season. That would be incredible if he does. And now Talesborough is going for that lead of his. Look at the angle he's getting, and now Paul's in trouble too. Paul, is he going to hang on? Is Moustache going to get through clean shaven? It looks like he's going to try and attempt it now. Marius is going to try and get that position back, and he will. Paul is trying to hang on. I think he'll be okay. So Marius back in the lead as it was into the second to last sector. So it is still Marius ahead, and Nikosos back in 5th, by the way, is starting to get back in this race, it seems.
Paul and Moustache have missed a trick here, surely. They've got significantly less battery than everybody else around them. I don't know necessarily what they're playing. I think it is just that Paul's struggling to keep up with the leading duo. He's having to expend a little bit to try and stay within that 1 second window, which, as we've seen, is so crucial. The top 9 very much pulling away from the group behind. Moustache unable to make him pay as even nice. Steals the fastest lap away from Lawrence. Down in 14th, Lawrence. The strategy just didn't pay out. The safety car really ruined their chances of some really decent points because the pace was very much there for ET8. Lawrence started in, I think it was 5th place, held 5th place for the majority of the first stint, and was very much in this DRS train. But yeah, disappointment. And looking at the gaps, this DRS train is starting to spread out a little bit, at least at the very head of it.
Absolutely. So Mario's trying to build a lead, but it doesn't seem like it's happening. Talesburg is trying to mount a challenge again. Paul and Moustache up there too. Nikosos is starting to close in on the top 4 though. Is this going to be a move? It is. No, it's not. It's not. Oh, a mistake with Moustache, I think. No, he can't get through, but he's got a big chance ahead. Is Talesburg going to make a move here? I don't think he is. And you see he fired that warning shot much earlier. Nikosos is going to be making a move into 4th place. And has so. So now he advances position and now will be on the rear of Paul. And this will be interesting because we have seen Paul really struggle in these past few laps. Is this a sign he is starting to lose ground? Paul is not seeming to be gaining anything. It's just been gaining anything because of the DRS. And you don't want to depend on DRS too much. Talesburg is really good in the corners, by the way. He gained a lot on Marius in the last few laps.
Penalties for Sipala and ASRT Christian, 3 seconds for corner cutting. That won't affect the points paying positions too much. Diogo Silva will come through, but Carlitos a little bit too far back. Couple of corrections as ET8 Paul nearly drops it, not once but twice, going through the hairpin of 13. Is now Nico on the back of him in the Alien car. Pink Panthers versus Aliens will be interesting scrap. Moustache still has absolutely no battery, by the way, at the start of this lap. He's got it up to about 40%, so the battery ERS management is not there for the driver that was on pole. Dropped down into 5th place. Disappointment again. Paul, though, has recharged it back up into the 80s, and I think it's still going to be a threat come the end of this Grand Prix. Marius Storm with a 4/10 clear. What is Talesburg going to do? They've definitely upped the pace out in front. No more silly games being played.
No more silly games being played, but what's going to happen here? Heading into the final corner, it is going to be Marius heading into the field, but now Talesburg and Paul starting to close up now. Nikosos needs to get a good run here if he is to get into the fight for the win. So it's going to be Talesburg. Is he going to be making any significant moves? No, he will not. So he will stay in 2nd place. Snugly in between Marius and Paul. And that is Carlitos losing position to Shabby, who's now in the top 10.
Important move because they can try and get a shift on. They could potentially close to within the points paying positions. That's Lawrence retiring in the pits. Yeah, just realised that the safety car ruined what could have been a very decent haul of points, so dropping out. And Lakitu is also retired, but that is not in the pits, so beware of a safety car. And Sipala's dropped it as well, coming out of sector 1. And we do have a safety car doing donuts in the runoff area. Full course safety car.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from. I'm seeing. Oh, it is a full safety car.
It's Sipala, yeah. Lakitu dropped it coming out of turn into turn 4. Sorry, and Sipala having a separate incident.
Ignore what it says. It's a full course safety car. This is quite insane. Then, what is going through these drivers' minds now? Is there any last second? Look at Marius. He's running away. I'm not sure if he's supposed to do that. He's still going full speed.
I'm looking at the steering wheels, and a lot of them have deltas of.
That's always there. Yeah.
Okay. I was hoping that the delta wasn't completely broken. Is anyone going to chance it and come into the pits? I wonder if they're going to go for soft tyres. Marius Foreman is shaping. He's not a dummy. He's coming in. They're all coming in. Who's going to stay out? Surely someone's going to do it. Surely someone. No, they've all come in. No one's taking the opportunity to take the lead of the race.
I don't blame them, to be fair.
Yeah, but if you're down in 11th or 12th, surely you might as well chance it. You aren't going to score points anyway. the safety car is only going to be out for a couple of laps. You're going to have maybe 2 or 3 lap sprint to the end.
Yeah. Oh,
Bruh, Telsper's been held in the pits.
Yeah, I think he was double stacking someone. So, wait, was he just double stacking Marius or something? Well, this is really unfortunate for Talesborough. He's down in 7th. This safety car was a disaster for him.
ET8 Paul, suddenly this race has potentially been gift wrapped to him in 2nd place. On to the final lap. That is the position you want to be in, but you can't be playing silly games with the group of cars behind because they also want to win the race. And I'll tell you what, you can bet your bottom dollar that Nico, if ET8 Paul is just going to sit behind Marius for winning, he'll be nipping at the heels of trying to get into 2nd place, going down one of the many DRS straights that we've got. 3, not 4, as I incorrectly said earlier.
Yeah, Pepine from 13th. Could be in the running for the podium here if he keeps his wheels on the track. Other notice, Carlitos in the top 10 from 17th. A fantastic performance from him so far. So it is all going to come down to these final few laps. It is not a virtual safety car. It is a full course safety car. So just ignore that. Let's see. Marius leading ahead of Paul, ahead of Nico and Moustache. Moustache has not had a great race by looking at the stats, but he can still try and find a way to win it. Everyone is on the softs, as you would. It looks like it'll be a free lap race to the finish.
Yeah, safety car will most likely come in next lap. So 23, 24, 25 is what we're going to get. Who do you think this favours? I mean, Marius Woolman has held the lead for the last, 6 or 7 laps once everything calmed down. This is probably not what he wants. ET8 Paul is going to be very happy about this. His pace was looking a little bit wayward coming towards the end of the stint before the safety car came out. Moustache as well. This probably favours him, gives him a chance to regroup and try and challenge to get back on the podium. But again, pole sitter struggling to maintain track position, whether it's a racecraft thing, a battery management thing, a tyre management thing. He just doesn't quite have that all locked up. He's going to stay as the championship leader, of course, unless he gets taken out by someone in the remaining 3 laps of running that we'll get. But yeah, just maybe another missed opportunity, and he's giving ET8 Paul and Marius Woolman, because he is still in this championship battle as well, an opportunity to believe.
Believe you can win the race. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe. I first learned that song from the X Factor when Leon Jackson won it. I'm not kidding. Not the Mariah Carey version or something.
Mariah Carey is not necessarily in the in some of my go-to playlists. I must be honest. We've got an interesting question in chat actually, which is that's true. She's only got one song. In cases like this where the game is being strange, do the stewards correct anything if someone gets a penalty for breaching the virtual safety car delta when it says it incorrectly? That should be something. Now, we're not stewards, unless, I might be putting words in your mouth here, but we're not stewards, so we can't be 100% certain, but I think in cases like that, there would definitely be an argument for that penalty to get... Yeah, it would definitely be an argument for that penalty to get removed.
Okay.
And penalties do get removed, of course, and added post-race.
Not all, though. 3-second ones do not get removed. Unless there's significant evidence they've not cut it. Safety car in this lap, so it's all Marius leading from the start. Now, when's he going to go? That's the question. He's really going slow. And we do apologise, it's flashing like that. We shouldn't be doing that. EA for you. Oh, look at the thing behind, or whatever that was. There's a massive group just urging to go. I'm going to turn this off because you can't see all the cars coming out. And they're all ready to get going. They're still holding each other up. He's still not going. When is he going to go?
Very late. Wow. wants to minimise the opportunity that E-Tip Paul's going to get to take him down to turn 1. He has bolted, and he's caught him a little bit napping. And I tell you what, Tailsborough's on the move straight away because Diogo Silva's lost that place, but he might have to give it back as Diogo Silva does reclaim 6th. Pepin on the move, Moustache on the move as well out the inside, and Nico into turn 1. Just enough space there for the championship leader, and will have to stay in 4th place for the time being. Kasabi and Christian battling over 8th and 9th. Diogo Silva and Tailsborough continue their duel, and Tailsborough losing out once again as he did with that pit stop.
Massive fighting going on in the mid-pack. Look at that, it's dangerous. How are they holding this together?
Got damage.
Oh yeah,
Carlitos
big damage. And how are they keeping it together? They're bashing each other like it's the Royal Rumble and still staying on the track. Stop giving me this horrendous camera angles. We've already got on more camera angles.
Tailsborough's through, back up into 6th place, trying to recover from the lost ground in the pit stop phase. Mario's form has decided that there's no need to try and back up. He's going to try and bulk. He's very close to the wall there, coming out of the chicane. E-Tip Paul trying to go with him as best as possible. The gap is 6.5 tenths of a second. Nico, Moustache, Pepin, Tailsborough, Diogo Silva, Kasabi, Christian and Sipala. Those positions swapping for 8th and 9th. They're side by side down into the next chicane, and it is Kasabi that backs out of that one.
And stays in 8th place. So... and this won't help the guys with penalties as well, because now they're going to lose that 3-second advantage. And now Paul is getting very close to Marius. He won't get the DRS now, but he's using up all his energy now, and I think he should be, because guess what? There's only 2 laps to go, and you don't want to give Marius a chance to break away. Paul going for his 3rd win of the season, stays behind as you probably should, but now this gives a chance for Nico Sosa Moustache to close up in. Shabby and Sepala continuing their duel into the first 2 turns, still side by side. Great battling from both, as Shabby is in 9th place and nearly loses it and stays on and stays in 8th place. Sepala getting a bit frustrated now. Look who's behind. Christian looking for a move and staying on track. A bit of a mistake there, but seems to have kept it in the same gap as it was before. Now Yves Matthias is going for a position. He's going to go for it at the hairpin. Is he? Yes, he is. He's going for a 12th place. Won't get many points, but it may matter because of those drivers that have penalties are going to lose position, and this is not good news. They're all fighting for a points position seemingly now. They've got to be careful not to get too violent, and they have, and that's unlucky for Evan Nye. He's run into Carlitos, who's got damage again. Who lost it, and now that's going to be the end of their chances. But now, back to the top. Moustache and Pepin trying to get involved in this final few corners now, before we reach the checkered flag.
Who's going to blink first? 2 is the magic number rather than 3 at the moment as we come round the final corner. For the penultimate time, we retain the status quo with Marius Formula leading E-Tip Paul, Nico and Moustache for the time being. Although the pole sitter is very close. We are going to see the DRS and we are going to see moves made. And it's Nico going for the double overtake to take the lead, going on to the final lap of the race. Moustache trying to get involved as well. Marius Formula, there is contact. Oh, parking the bus through turns 2 and 3 with Nico. We're almost through where Pepin's involved. Moustache has the lead of the race. He's come out of absolutely nowhere. Like an Exocet missile. E-Tip Paul has 3rd. Marius Formula was in the lead about 30 seconds ago. He's now struggling to hold on to 4th.
No! How has that happened? Moustache, Casper Flack is out of the race. He's had a crash. I need to check where... and Carlitos. Oh dear, that's been a bad instant. But now Paul is going to try and get to Nico Sauce. We can't go to the crash. How has he got that? Look at this. He's going for the inside again. They can't get it. It is all going to go loose at the final few corners. You can imagine that. Paul staying in 3rd. Nearly loses it. Nearly not losing it, but Marius has. I think that's it. Gone. I think he's not going to be winning. Sorry, he's not going to be winning this race.
Paul's going for it. Paul's going for it around the outside of Nico.
And
he's got it 2nd place.
Wow.
He's in the perfect position. He's in the prime position to go for it.
It's going to be all gloves off. It's going to be everyone going for each other. Free wide to the final corner. Nico Sauce goes on the outside. Paul on the outside as well. They're clinching each other. Oh no! Oh no! Oh dear, that's a horrible way to end. Nico Sauce handed it on a plate. That is a nasty incident, and I can't even see what's happened.
Oh my goodness, this is an absolute car park. We've only got 9 cars left.
Oh dear. That
is maybe the most infamous finish PSGL will ever see. Carlitos will take the line to finish in ninth and last place. You've got to give hats off to Nico, though, because he got it absolutely right. We're not sure what happened at the start of the final lap, because he did park the bus a little bit. And that was what instigated the first bit of contact we saw. But then it was ET8 Paul and Moustache, the two championship rivals, a flashpoint between the pair of them, not enough space given by either of them, and they caused a complete mess out of that final corner.
Why do I do this job? Why?
Entirely self-inflicted from the pair of them.
We're either going to go viral or we're going to get fired. And the drivers along with it. Because that
ain't our fault.
Well, I didn't show the full crash. I showed part of it, and then I showed Nikos crossing the line.
Yeah, that's. I mean, basically, and it's probably a Peggy 18 warning, because all we missed was cars piling into each other, like we saw at Spa 98. So we didn't miss a lot. Nico with a brilliant win. We'll have to wait and see whether the stewards think that he did park the bus through the first couple of corners, or whether it was just a natural coming together. Telsborough and Pepin round off the podium. Matthias is fourth. Diogo Silva picks up fifth ahead of Kasabi. Mario's Formula, in the end, picks up points on his main rivals with seventh ahead of even 9 Carlitos. They're the only other drivers that finished. It's actually Spanias that is classified in 10th place. Sipala misses out on the first points-paying position of the season. Christian, Paul and Moustache, I mean, entirely self-inflicted by the pair of them, I have to say.
Sorry, Nico, honestly, mate, congratulations. I'm not saying you didn't deserve 100%. To win it, but you didn't deserve to win it like that. It was a brilliant, persevering drive, but it was tainted by the irresponsibility of your opponents. But that doesn't mean you don't deserve it at all. Of course, you deserve to win. The driver that keeps it all together deserves to win the race. And he did.
I'm gonna disagree slightly, because Nico had the lead coming into the final corner. I'm pretty sure Nico was ahead when we got to the apex of the final corner.
Oh yeah,
and
it was. Sorry,
it was the battle behind between Moustache and ET8 Paul, and there was somebody else in there. I can't quite remember who it was.
Got so excited at the end.
Yeah. So Nico, I mean, the only questionable thing potentially that he did was, did he brake check people through? Did he brake check people through turn 2? I don't think he did, but we definitely had a concertina effect on the start of the final lap. But a brilliant move to get the lead, a brilliant move to get second place at the start of the lap, and well, I have to say he's a deserved winner.
Okay, I take everything back. I just seen that he was ahead, so I'm sorry. I wasn't accusing you of being lucky or anything. You weren't lucky, but what the?
Careful! Get the bleep machine.
What the Formula 1 was that? Or that's copyright infringement, actually. Let's see the incident again. I missed it too. So I was trying to show the front. Oh dear. Okay, I caught a bit of it, and then I had to cut to Nico crossing the line.
I think it was self-inflicted.
I don't mean to belittle the drivers involved, but
I mean, Pepin is so lucky that he gets through there. Same with Telsborough, watching it back.
And they've all got damage.
Yeah, they all clattered into each other.
This is an all-timer. I am clipping this now. Oh my God. Right. We're about to go viral. I'm about to appear on the front page of Autosport. I don't know how to feel. I honestly, I am lost. I am lost for words. So I've not even had a heart attack. I'm just.
It's Mario's Formula in the middle. Paul's on the right-hand side. I don't know if Mario's Formula, or if Moustache, knows that ET8 Paul is there. They're both then spun into the wall. Paul is given a helping hand by Telsborough behind. Pepin just about manages to get round them, but also picks up damage. So I mean, that is an absolute
all-timer.
I mean, I can't. There are no words that we can use to describe that.
It's an all-timer.
What can you do sometimes?
I've never seen an incident like that ever. I mean, it's a tight. Paul got a 10-second penalty. and it was well down in 12th anyway, so it didn't matter.
Pepin, I have just seen Pepin's point of view. He is the luckiest human being I have ever seen. Gets absolutely clattered by the stricken Alpine Esports livery car of Moustache, I think it is, being thrown back across the road. Somehow escapes with only front wing damage. If you want to have a look at that in the PSGL Discord, that is incredible. That car is made of something stronger than we've ever seen before.
It's made of carbon nanotubes, which have not been. They're going to use that to build the space elevator, which is something weird I found on the internet, and it stretches really high. I'll leave you to Google it. I promise it's not some clickbait thing. It was actually a planned vision for something. But I'm gonna be preparing for any media coming to my door tomorrow saying, "What the heck was that finish?" And I'd say, "Don't ask me. I just talk over it."
I think we should probably end it there. Neither championship contender picked up any points in the race. Don't expect the result that we've just seen to be the final result. There's going to be a whole load of penalties applied by the stewards post-race. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We've had an incredibly infamous moment to finish that race off. But, I think we should sign out and start again next week.
Yeah, I think we should. Right. Where are we next? Well, we will tell you. If we can actually get all the cars repaired, we will be in Mexico. Mexico, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. The Autodromo dedicated to the Rodriguez brothers, which will host. It's very high up, and I've been told we're getting a mariachi band in. Our budget has really gone up. That's what I've been told by a certain someone. But yeah. So I will see you next week, hopefully, with some more fantastic racing action. Along with T-Dub, of course. Remember to use Sim Racing Centre and GT Omega's promotional code of PSGL, 5% off on GT Omega products.
See you next week, everybody.
And we'll see you next week. Good night.